I will be recording as I make a pair of socks. This is going to be 56 stitch count socks. Plain vanilla, nothing fancy. Normal eye of partridge, heel flap and gusset, and a plain old wedge toe. So nothing fancy, just a little knit with me. I know someone had asked about me making more recordings for sock knitting, so this is one for them. And if it helps anyone else or is just relaxing, yay. But this is just a little knit with me. So 56 stitches cast on, higher. I believe these are sharps. If not, they're sharp no matter what. I believe this is an 8-inch needle. But it's cast on 56. I've already made my foundation round, meaning I just knit straight around after the cast on. And I also took the tail and knitted it into, looks like about four stitches here. And you can tell because I've got 2 strands of yarn in these stitches. That way all I have to do is either leave it or cut it a little bit shorter and one less thing to weave in at the end. So this is just knit 1, and I'm ready to do my ribbing now. And I'm going to do, I think, knit 1, purl 1. Not for very long. I said knit 1, purl 1 hands. I'll probably only do this for maybe 5 or 6 rounds. This is going to be a real short cuff. Short cuff, short socks for little feet is what I'm doing. And yes, when you weave in your tail and you start knitting through those stitches, it will get a little bulky. So if you don't like that, don't do it. Just weave it in at the end. But if you don't mind, then you can go ahead and weave it in or knit it in. Knit, purl, knit, and purl. Why is this one split? There. I was doing this originally with a 64 stitch count, and once I got through the cuff, I had the little person's foot for sizing purposes, and I stuck it on and the cuff just kept stretching. So I was like, nope, not gonna work. Take it off the needles, make it shorter or make it tighter with a 56 count. So that's why this is here. I'm just re-knitting. I believe this yarn is definitely superwash. Has probably nylon in it, probably like a 20% nylon. And the main color that I'll be using is called Falling in Love, if I recall correctly. It's the colorway by Denise, who is Earth Tones Girl on Instagram and YouTube. It's a really nice self-striping yarn. So I'll be doing toe and cuff in this, and for the heel I will use the color contrast that came with Earth Tones Girl, her skein of yarn, which is kind of it's definitely a brown, but it has like a purple undertone to it. But the mini does not look like it will give me heel, cuff, and toe. So I improvised. I figured let me just go ahead and do the heels only in that color to make sure I don't run out. And then I'll just do something different for the toe and cuff. I have to say I do like this little setup I got going on here. It's much more comfortable than sitting at my kitchen island. I can just sit comfy on the couch, which is my wonderful little knitting corner, my knitting cozy. And just have this light and camera looking at my hands. And I don't see any movement in the camera, which is nice, despite everything's literally sitting on a couch cushion. I think I'll only do 6 rounds on this cuff. I did that before I started undoing everything and redoing. Definitely in sock knitting mode. I've gone through 2 other socks, plain vanilla, 2x2 ribbing. One pair, I took fingering weight, doubled it, and did, actually, yeah, I did 2x2 cuff, and the sock itself, there is a 2x2 in it, but there's also 4x4 and a 3x3. It's a really nice ribbed sock. So I'm explaining it terribly. But it's a ribbed sock. Ribbing, cuff, and then the foot itself is a rib pattern. And that is, I did that with a toe up pattern. I have realized though, I like doing toe up socks. However, I have not found a good toe up cuff that I truly like my go-to. Like a heel flap and gusset go-to will always be the Eye of Partridge for me, the slip-on knit one. But I haven't found that go-to for a heel up pattern. So I need to find one at some point. I mean, it looks all right on the socks because it's variegated yarn and it's got ribbing in it. And it's just for, lounge around socks, nothing fancy. But I'm just not thrilled about the heel, the way it looks when you go up versus cuff down. But yeah, I've gone through 2 pairs, knitting those. And knitted blanket for Christmas. All gift knits right now. The only thing that actually I've done I decided I would keep. It could have been a gift knit, but yeah, I'm going to keep this bugger for myself. This was a test knit from Gray Owl Knits on Ravelry and Instagram. This is her Sweet Alice cowl. I think the pattern, she just released it. Yeah, she just released it last week. I just love the floats, how you can actually see the pattern in the floats. That's so cool. Heck, if you wanted to, you could just wear it inside out for a different effect. But this is in Rama, or Rama, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, which I'm probably not, but it's Rama for the white and Rama for the red. And it was fingering weight that I used, and I held double to get the DK. So it's definitely warm, keeps water droplets off your neck as well. So if it ever snows where I am, it'll help. If not, it'll definitely help just to keep the icy wind off of my neck. And I don't mind there if you have a problem with 100% wool, which is what this is. Something like this, it doesn't bother my neck, but if you're sensitive, you'll definitely feel the prickle factor, as some folks call it, the itchiness that the wool gives off because of the short hairs. If anyone chose to view this little video and sees this and wants to knit on it and use 100% wool, just be mindful it's going to be right up on your neck. It's not, at least the way I made mine, this is not loose where it's one of those cowls that just hangs off the neck like an infinity scarf. This thing actually holds its structure and goes pretty right up against your neck. You don't get that much space between your neck and the cowl itself. Normally I don't even like wearing cowls, but this is just Christmassy. So I will keep it and use it as much as possible. Just counting my rows. Make sure I've got at least 4 or 5 done. And if there's a beginner knitter knitting along or watching how I counted the rows without using a stitch counter, I'm simply counting the V's of the knit stitch. So this little first one down here, that's row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and I'm doing row 5 right now. And this does include, you can't really see my foundation round in there, buried in there, but I am including it in my count because it just falls into the background way down in there if you pull on it. It's so small you can't see it, but when you do see the stitch, I go ahead and count it. Normally what I do is I have my stitch counter on my finger, and I will not count the foundation round. But this is just a plain old little mini sock for little mini feet, so it's no big deal. It's a part of my Christmas knitting. Doesn't need to be perfect. Do one more and then I shall stop. I don't know if I can splice the videos together to make a little bit longer video. If not, it'll just be like Knit With Me Part 1 or something like that, however I name it. It's probably easier just to do it in parts so I can upload faster. I have to say, I have noticed a serious uptick in subscribers. So I want to thank everyone who has subscribed and has commented. I read every comment and respond. Might take me a little bit of time, but I do. So thank you, everyone. I'm glad these reminder videos are helpful. Hopefully these little knit with me's are relaxing for some folks. Okay. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I'm going to go ahead and get my main color and lock this stitch marker in. I'll use this one. Normally, I would have backed up a few stitches and then re-knit them, weaving in the new color, but I don't want to weave in when I'm doing this ribbing. Sometimes it looks kind of funny to me, so I'm just going to start off fresh with a new color. And then I can weave it in at the end. No big deal. I did say I was going to lock in my stitch marker. I think I've done that. And I'm just going around and around still. That always happens. Say I'm going to stop knitting and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm already halfway through the row. Might as well finish. I hope once I'm done with these socks, I don't cast on something else. I now insert the gasp here. But I really want to spin some fiber that I've got. Because yes, I fell down the rabbit hole of spinning yarn. Started that up during the summer. Been doing it on and off and have deliberately not spun probably since maybe August, early September, so I could finish my Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix blanket for a Christmas knit. And then 2 pairs of socks for Christmas knits. And now I'm on this one because if I keep spinning, I won't stop because it's just that meditative and relaxing. So yeah. So hopefully I don't cast on anything else after these socks. That way I can go back to spinning and get used to it and get better at making fingering weight. Seems I can do DK weight for sure. Not what I was going for, but at least it works. And I'm getting the hang of it, so it just takes practice. I said I was going to stop. It's like a bag of potato chips. Get one and then the whole bag is gone before you know it. Say you're going to stop knitting and before you know it, you got 100 more stitches that you've done. Good grief. All right. I do have to stop after at least this second row though, because I need to cast on the second cuff, get 2 rows, since I'm already on the second row, get 2 rows on the new cuff attached, and then put everything on my Haya cable needle and start knitting both at the same time. So I can't just keep knitting. feel like Pee Wee Herman. Keep knitting, keep knitting, keep knitting. That was the funniest movie when I was a kid. Pee Wee Herman's adventure. And he was trying to find his bike. I might have to find that on Prime or something and watch it again. And then my kids can look at me funny like, yeah, you're from the 80s for sure. Alrighty. Second row done, and I am putting it down. And what I can do is, to get this off, of course, because I have needles everywhere, take another pair of needles, get 32 off, and make up the next one. Is that 5? Come on, 6. 15. 16. 1 and 2. All right, 32 and 32. I'm not cutting off this main color at all. But what I want to do is get this 8-inch needle off. So the easiest way, this is my cable needle. And yeah, I probably take way too much time doing all this back and forth, but it's my sock and I can do what I want to. So this is how I do it. Just gotta transfer onto the cable needle. And then I'll transfer the other side onto the cable needle as well. Just there's no way, at least for me, to do it off of the 8-inch other than doing it this way. And this is just my preferred method, so it is what it is. Okay. So I'm going to get that tail out of the way. Now, get this side on the cable. Apologies for my dry hands and fingers. All this wool feels like it's drying out my hands along with the cold weather. Not enough Tuft hand balm in the world, it seems right now. And I adore the Tuft hand balms. Tuft is the spelling of the brand. You can find them on Instagram. really nice hand balms, all natural. I'm assuming they are gluten free. If anyone's ever interested, Tuft. It's just little screw up, screw down bottle. Nice stuff. It definitely keeps my hands moisturized through all the knitting and the cold. But yeah, no matter how much I use, my hands still get really dry, unfortunately. No matter how much water I drink all day long, too. But I'm rambling because I can. Let's see. Here it is. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cast on this next cuff, get 2 rows in of the main color, and then I will restart the next little knit with me. Bye.